Y'all, I'm right here. I just want my dog to shut up before I start. Okay. But yes, y'all. Okay. Continuing on for my members and my Patreons, I'm giving everybody a moment to come on into the room before we get, started with the full video. But I will just go ahead and repeat what I said about this whole little sit down, that I feel like Mel absolutely knew that Tiffany was coming there to spray info and that she was coming to make a splash on the show. And she did just that. And she got her and her husband plastered in the intro at the beginning of the episode. So I was like, oh, okay. So they full cast members now. Where they tea at? Where they business at? Because they showing up to spray everybody else tea. I won't see they tea. I know we only on episode 4, but I'm going to be on the lookout for the tea. Okay. Thank y'all for becoming members. All my new ones. Thank y'all so much for coming over. It is greatly appreciated. Okay. Can somebody I don't know if y'all can y'all post a link to the to this in the Discord? Just to make sure that it's there for everybody, that y'all see it, because I put it on YouTube and I put it on Patreon. But I know a lot of y'all would just go ahead and catch the playback to this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get into it. All right. So, like I said, I'm very happy that Kimmy and Destiny are getting closer and are friends because they seem super, super cool. Okay. So Tisha tries to have Mr. Nasty time with Marceau at the hotel while they're on this business trip. And she can't get him to stop talking about business for 5 minutes. She got lingerie on. She's looking good. Tisha looks amazing. Tisha's very beautiful to me. I thought maybe her makeup wasn't that great, but I still thought she looked really nice. Her body looked great. She comes to the door with the champagne, with the energy, trying to give up the cooch. And he wasn't even looking like he was interested in the pussy. I was like, what is going on here? What is going on here? Where are you coming from? And whose cooch were you in for you not to be interested in the one that wants to jump on top of you right now? Like, I don't know, y'all, but I definitely feel like cheating has been an issue in Tisha and Marceau's relationship. It makes no sense for it not to have been, for her to have all of these suspicions. If nothing has ever happened in their relationship where he's cheated, I'm going to need for her to stop constantly questioning him the way she does, to stop speculating the way she does. Okay. And I'm also going to need for him to act like he actually wants to have sex with her, because it does seem as if he was not interested. And I'm sure they were doing that for the cameras, because I think Marceau likes to play shit up for the cameras. But I think Tisha is very much true to her emotions and is not an actress, and will definitely feel a way about how he makes her feel, even when he's just doing it for the show. Okay. So he's talking about how they had to get new labels made for the chocolate champagne. Y'all, they're talking about it a lot and they're doing great with their business. I'm going to tell you, because I want to try this damn chocolate champagne. I like chocolate. I like champagne. I cannot imagine how those two things will go together, besides like chocolate covered strawberries and shit. So if y'all want to send us some to drink on the show, on the Ooh Ladies first panel, y'all just let us know, because we would love to get a bottle or two of the chocolate champagne and go ahead and have it, sponsored on the videos. Y'all can hit us up about that. Bay, you in here? He's not. That sucks. My coffee's cold. Sorry, you guys. Anyway, so then the conversation turns. Tisha tells him that she went shopping with Mariella and Jasmine. And he suggested that she give him Jasmine's phone number so that he can call Jasmine to give her the budget, so that it can feel as if he's shopping with her, because he will then have discussed the budget with her friends. I was like, Marceau, what the fuck are you talking about? And why does it sound like you just want access to one of your wife's friends? What the is going on here? Somebody make it make sense for me. Somebody make it make sense for me. I know they want to make it seem about money, but like Tisha said, I'm the only one you need to be talking to. I'm the only one that you need to be giving a budget to. You don't need to be giving a budget to anybody. I don't understand why that even popped up in his mind as something that was reasonable, as something that made sense. I do not understand. I definitely feel like even if he's not cheating on her for real, they're producing the show in a way to make it seem as if he's cheating or has cheated. It's what it feels like to me. Okay. Kimmy tells Maurice what happened with Tiffany, right? Maurice says he knew about the situation, but he had not expressed, talked about, even mentioned it to Kimmy. And at this point, Kimmy has accepted the fact that she's on a need to know basis. But I think Maurice has put a lot of the responsibility on her, and he focuses on work more than anything else. And he needs to create some type of balance in that. She's trying to talk to him about that. He's deflecting. He starts going off on a tangent about how he's going to have a problem with Tiffany, and she's going to be make it seem as if his son is some deviant. And I'm like, nigga, smoking vape pens don't make you a deviant. Like, there are very successful people that smoke vape pens, okay? That smoke cigarettes. Like, it's just a habit. Like, it's not that deep. I mean, it is, because you shouldn't do it because it causes cancer and shit. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make your kid a bad kid because somebody caught him smoking a vape pen in the bathroom, especially when they advertise and gear that shit to kids, okay? Like, it looks like a cool little toy. Like, that's what that shit looks like. Tobacco has been losing out on this generation for a while. So they reinvented themselves with the vape pen. That's how big tobacco reinvented themselves, if you let me tell it, okay? Either way, I feel like he went off on this tangent in order to not have to take responsibility for not sharing that information with Kimmy. Kimmy says that he needs to spend more time talking to Monster ahead of time so that these types of things won't happen. And he was like, well, I didn't think I would have to have this conversation with an 8th grader. Why not? Maurice, what the fuck are you talking about? These little boys be out here fucking at 9 years old, and you don't think you have to have conversations about these things until they're in high school? You're being severely unrealistic. Severely unrealistic if you think that your teenage son exposed, your 12, 13-year-old kids exposed to the internet are not going to, know a lot of things ahead of time that maybe you didn't because you grew up in a different time. And he also doesn't really listen to what Kimmy says. Kimmy will give advice and it will go in one ear and out the other. He continues to say that just because he doesn't always take her advice, that does not mean that it is not valuable. And then he says, look at Jalen. Jalen is an African-American success story. But, at the end of the day, you don't take her opinion on anything. So do you really feel like that? Or are you just saying that because you and your brother and probably the rest of your family like to speak in inspirational quotes? And it really shows to me a lack of realness. And it also shows me that y'all probably got a lot done by the gift of gab, by running y'all mouth and not by actually doing the things you say you do, which makes y'all feel a little shake, a little scammy to me. Not saying that y'all are, but I'm just saying I think it's problematic when people don't speak English in a way that is understandable and real. They speak it in a way to manipulate a situation. So instead of just saying exactly what's going on and exactly what it is, we're going to use words and quotes and inspirational things we've heard over the years and things that people say. We will use those things in order to deflect from us not really wanting to take responsibility for whatever we're being asked to take responsibility for. Okay. And it's very unfortunate. And I really think that Kimmy just showed how strong, how intelligent, and how patient she is with him, because I almost feel like he got defensive and had a fucking temper tantrum because she was trying to let him know that he isn't doing what he needs to be doing if he is not spending time talking to his son, especially when you're going off about how you don't listen to anybody because you know what it takes to be a successful Black man. So your opinion is the only opinion that really matters. And that is not true, because we've seen other successful Black men be built by women as well. And it makes no sense to have all of these people as parental figures in this boy's life and not take input from them seriously. And I also feel like it's you constantly viewing Kimmy as someone who has to in some way be of service to you as you figure your shit out. And when is that going to truly be reciprocated? Or when can you handle your shit in a way that doesn't require so much from her? Because she raised her son, and now here you're coming fighting tooth and nail to have Monster in your household, so you can set all the rules, but also so you can not be there and work most of the time and then make excuses as if it's okay for you to not give time because you're showing him how to get a successful life, which requires more time during work. Sir, you're all over the place and you need to get your shit together. And that's just as simple as it is. Okay. So Tisha and Marceau, y'all. Let me get to the next slide. All right, it's 73 of y'all in here. What's up? How you doing? Okay, listen, I'm excited to see y'all. So Tisha and Marceau meet with Marceau's aunt and uncle. Apparently, Marceau's uncle is handling the design and the construction on the homes they're trying to build on the 47 acres for the family, right? And his designers didn't show up to work, Marceau said. So he's there to hold his uncle accountable for the designers not, getting things done as quickly as he would like for them to get done. Okay. And it's once again, a lot of that, rhetoric, a lot of that. I read this somewhere, so I'm going to say it to you type of thing. And Marceau then blames Tisha and her new 2-story closet for the delay. I said, I thought it was his designers not showing up. Now it's Tisha's fault. And then Tisha brings up that he's the one that wanted a larger garage. That also took more time up as far as the construction is, and the design is concerned. So it's just kind of like y'all love passing blame, don't y'all? That's something it seems that y'all consistently like to do, is to pass the buck instead of getting on one accord and handling things like adults that are responsible and take responsibility and accountability for their own actions. Y'all are fucking exhausting, Marceau and Tisha, because I'm starting to feel like Marceau is very much like Tisha in that way of not really fully being able to take responsibility. I mean, we knew that when it came to the kids, but now to see even in business, you refuse to do what must be done for you to be successful because you want to do shit the way you want to do it. And you think you know better, and that's all that matters. And then when things don't work out the way you want them to, instead of going back and changing the way you do things, you find someone else to blame. That shit is annoying as fuck. I'ma just go ahead and say it. All right. It is just really stupid at this point. Then they start talking about, and this is how you know that Tisha is just so immature, y'all. Because Tisha is sitting up there talking about how make sure you don't show our design plans to Maurice and Kimmy, because I know that if they see it, they're going to try to outdo us and do something bigger and better than what we did. It's like, girl, them people ain't worrying about you. Them people are not worrying about you, sis. You really need to get that out of your head that Kimmy sees herself as some type of competition for you, because she does not. Oh my God, y'all. It just thirsty to be more than what she is. And I even hate to make it sound like that, because we should be whatever we want to be. Babe, can you please come down here and reheat my coffee? My throat is dry as fuck. Thank you. Y'all, I'm dying and I don't want to get up. Okay. So anyway, y'all, moving along from that petty ass nonsense conversation, Jalen finally closed on his condo, and it is the first renovation project that he and Kimmy are working on together, which I thought was really cute and amazing that they're doing this together. Reminding me of Heavenly and her son doing the same type of thing together. And that's really amazing that Black people are really getting to a space when they can pass down generational wealth to their kids, because for so long it's been something that we've been robbed of on so many different fronts in so many different ways. You know what I'm saying? It's just fucking ridiculous. Okay. So seeing this moment with Kimmy and Jalen was just really super cute to me, but it was also true tea about how irresponsible Marceau and Tisha are and how they're not on the same page, just like I just said. So they're going to have to do some of the renovations and some of, the tear down themselves in order to not have to spend so much money. Okay. And Jalen would then have to not be working 6 to 7 days a week down at Black. And he has expressed to Marceau previously that he needs a day or two off. And Marceau basically has questioned if that is necessary or if that should be, implemented because he was offered a percentage of black, but that percentage has never been clarified. So you dangled something to get this man to work as if this is his business, but it's really not. Because when it comes to making the big decisions that need to be made in order for things to work better, y'all don't want to do that. Y'all don't want to listen to him. Then he becomes a subordinate again. But then you talk that shit to him about how he needs to be proactive. It's very confusing and it's stupid. It's stupid. It's annoying to me to want to represent black excellence and then not be excellent your fucking self. Like, that is annoying to me. And to me, excellent is I am smart enough that if I cannot do something myself, I'm going to either seek out the information or seek out a person that can do what I cannot do. And him refusing to do that and to continue to take advantage of Jalen by having him work his ass off for a percentage that isn't glued into a contract, and also to constantly be blamed when things aren't going well. Like, it's very annoying to me. And I don't know how much longer Jalen is going to be a part of this foolishness, because he started to really explain to Kimmy how frustrated he is with being blamed, how Tisha says one thing and then Marceau comes behind her and says another thing, and how he doesn't know who to listen to. Kimmy says that when she was a nurse, back in the day, she left the patient outside and then had to, learn from that situation. And it was pivotal for her. So you're going to make mistakes. And she's explaining to him that it's going to be hard and you're going to make mistakes, but that's okay. Because people think that whatever they are trying to accomplish, that it's supposed to be easy at some point. And it's like, no, not always. It's not always supposed to be easy. Sometimes it is a constant, consistent grind. Okay? Child, reminds me of you two. All right? So at the end of the day, I feel like Kimmy is a very solid parent, has very great advice, knows exactly how to talk to her son, is definitely aware of what's going on here, but is also aware of the benefits. So she isn't telling him to quit, but she also is being very honest with the fact that she knew from the beginning that he wasn't going to get the training that he needed because Marceau was handling it, which lets me know that that Marceau likes to half-ass things, okay? Then we find out that Jalen is a cougar tamer. Yes, he's out here taming these cougars. Not Destiny. He says she's beautiful, but not his type. But he has been known to tame a old kitty or two. All right, child, I could have passed out. Okay, I could have passed out. I said, what cougars have you been scratching with? I bet that percentage is going to be a problem. Anybody that gets a business percentage should have full access to the books. And I don't see Marceau letting that happen. I would love to have saw Destiny's face when Jalen said she's not his type, child, because she thought she was. I hope this Jalen Black situation doesn't put a further strain on Kimmy and Tisha's relationship, let alone entire family. It feels like it will, because it already feels like it is. Marceau I think Kimmy is trying to be as impartial and not let it affect their relationships as she possibly can. Marceau is taking the super cheap route. They should have hired an experienced GM because now you're having to do that on a back end after probably making a lot of financial mistakes with storage and what y'all should be doing with product and all of that. You're probably making a lot of mistakes that you could have saved yourself from making if you had only made the smart decision that Tisha suggested from the beginning, which was to hire someone to train him. It does not make any sense why he would not do that. Being cheap is not always worth it, because you end up paying in some form for the person not having the expertise in this area. Jalen was very clear in his communication with Marceau about needing help, experienced help. It's on Marceau and Tisha. In my opinion, the Cougar Tamer edit was everything, wasn't it? I stopped liking Maurice this episode. Child, he makes my nerves bad quite often, because I feel like he puts way too much on Kimmy and then doesn't value her as a person because she's a woman. I'm not saying he doesn't value her completely, but I feel like when it comes to the parenting, when it comes to a lot of those things, you can tell in his head, he's like, I'm not listening to her because I'm a man and I know better. Like, you can tell that that's what he's thinking. And that's unfortunate. And that's a fucked up way to think. I could see him getting cougars though. Oh yeah. Okay. As a mother can be, child. Sounds like the Joe Budden podcast situation, people having a percentage and not being able to see the books. Right. To know what percentage I'm supposed to be getting. Exactly. Yeah, like whew, I feel like that's basically going to be an issue for real eventually. So y'all, let's move on to Tisha and Marceau's black event that they had, right? So everybody from OWN was there. Okay, they had this event to showcase the chocolate champagne, and everybody's dressed to the nines. It's super duper cute. Tommy Miles and his wife are there. Everybody from Ready to Love is there, including Miss Kyra. Okay, they have a really great turnout. And they talk about how they joined brands with the black company, and now they're in various countries all over the world, which is great. Everybody is having a good time, and we see Tisha calling herself snatching Marceau away from Kyra. Honestly, it seemed as if they were just standing near each other speaking, and they dubbed it, the microphones. They didn't show us them speaking, but they dubbed it like you can hear him introducing himself to her and her introducing herself to him. And honestly, that could have been bites that they took from two different places and cut together. Them people could have never had a real conversation that entire time. But I did post this one over here at the end with Tisha, either getting something out of her eye or blotting a tear. I wasn't sure which one it was, but y'all see how when she came over to get him, Kyra turned to her and smiled, right? Okay, so something was happening. I'm not saying something, nefarious was happening, but y'all were talking because when she walked up, both of y'all's attention moved to Tisha. So that means you guys were having some type of conversation. I also feel like Kyra watches the show and is aware of who Tisha is. Okay. But they tried to make this a moment, and her getting emotional, the way they edited the scene, it was all very, very weird. But it definitely made me feel like production is trying to make us feel like there is some cheatation going on with Tisha and Marceau. Like there's something going on. She just kept saying, we selling chocolate in a bottle, not chocolate in a soup. And I was just like, girl, he is not going to bring me this coffee, huh? So Kimmy and Maurice, y'all. Kimmy and Maurice go to meet with Kiowa. Kiowa and her husband for the first time are showing up at the same damn time. The relationship has always been contentious, and it's because Maurice just wanted to give Kiowa whatever she wanted so that he could eventually get Monster. And it's fucked up because it basically fostered a very negative relationship between Kimmy and him, because you never care about how I feel. And you don't care about how I feel because if you were to care or show that you had consideration for my feelings, it will cause issue with Kiowa. So now you've made a habit of ignoring Kimmy out of respect, but really out of trying to appease Kiowa. And that's how you now move in y'all co-parenting situation. And that's fucked up because you rely on Kimmy heavily to take care of your son for you while you're working, right? And while his mother isn't there, right? But then when it comes time to listen to her input, you don't want to listen to her. And then you placate her by saying that just because you don't take her advice, it doesn't mean that it isn't valuable. You know what to say, but your actions show that you don't respect what she has to say. That's what your actions show. Okay? So it's never really been a healthy co-parenting situation. It's all about sacrifice for the desired outcome. I think that's a very toxic way of handling relationships, that everybody has to always be living in a space of dysfunction or coddling somebody or placating somebody's ignorant fucking emotions just so we don't have to fight. It's never handled. It's never fixed. And you're constantly living in that space once you decide that that's what you're going to do. And I definitely feel like that's what Maurice decided to do. That's why it hasn't changed. That's why he, even though the relationship is getting better and they're all co-parenting, he is still handling Kimmy like she's some side bitch that's going to upset Kiowa. So he has to make sure the camera is just on him and in Monster. He has to make sure that she's not a part of the conversation when it comes to how they're handling things or how they're co-parenting things. I also think that he's misogynistic and thinks as a man, at this point, his opinion is the only one that matters. And it's really unfortunate because Kimmy has done a great job raising her son, and she is very influential in Monster's life. so they're having this conversation. And then he starts talking about this meeting he has with some lawyers that he can't miss, that he has to rush off to. And I was just kind of like, you knew that you had this meeting. Like, you knew that you had this to do. You knew that it was important for you to be here with her when Kiowa and Kiowa's husband came to meet with y'all. You knew this. So why would you schedule those two things so closely together, especially when you know they were coming in town for Monster's graduation, which you knew was going on? Why would you schedule these meetings so close together? And then not only do you don't want to reschedule it, but you couldn't even wait to have the conversation with them, and you left her there to wait alone to deal with your ex-wife who you have made it a point to create separation with. So they don't even have the decorum or the relationship to have this conversation alone. And you still felt like it was okay for you to do so. She got it. She can handle it. So I'm just going to leave her to handle it. I don't like it. I don't like it, y'all. It did not feel good to watch him get up from that table and leave this woman holding his responsibility after placating her and basically letting her know that even though her advice might be appreciated, it's not good enough to actually be taken. Like, this shit is so toxic. And her level of patience tells me that eventually she will no longer have this patience. At some point, Kimmy is no longer going to have the time or the patience to deal with him in this way. At some point, it's going to have to change, because in the moment, I can see her holding it. And at some point, you're not going to want to keep holding it like that. She said she didn't even feel like a priority, y'all. That made me sad. I really like Kimmy. And I was upset that he made her feel that way, that she's not even a priority and she's his wife. That's a fucking problem. Yeah, it feels like if he doesn't get it together, he's going to lose her. He is so hell-bent on whatever this picture of himself is. He's so hell-bent on this picture. Whatever this picture is, that's all he can see. And that's unfortunate, because when you are so focused on what your vision is that you don't have sight enough to see what's in front of your face, you may fuck up and lose the very things that you feel like will be there in the future, because you are not in the moment taking care of those things. All you can see is the business. You just think Kimmy's going to be there. You think your son is going to grow up and just be grateful that you were there. Like, instead of having resentment issues for the fact that you made him come there to be with you, and then you never really spent time with him and all you did was work. Like, he can't grow up to be angry with you because of that. Like, you won't eventually lose Kimmy, and then you'll really have to deal with him on your own, because she's going to get tired of carrying all of the weight without also being respected in the decision making. Her being on a need to know basis is some bullshit to me. Bullshit. Yes, he sees the trees, not the forest. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because he actually doesn't want to deal with, he does not want to deal with Kawasaki. Kimmy has already warned him that she doesn't have to be there. Right. Y'all, I don't know what Maurice is doing, but Maurice is just playing a very dangerous game. And when she talked about how she still hadn't gotten that honeymoon, like, I still haven't gotten what I need out of this situation, and you're asking for more. I don't know why I feel like that's always what niggas want to do. Like, I feel like we've been discussing this, with men. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm still not getting what I need, and you are now asking for more. That's crazy. Same thing with Darian. Maurice is playing himself. He is going to end up finding out the hard way that he isn't as good as he thinks he is. He is one of those men that's only as good as the woman he is with. A word, a word, a word. It hurts, but I have gotten used to it with the help of therapy. I missed this part of the conversation. The first part. What's going on, Shantia? What y'all talking about? If she leaves, then he will have to take time off to do pickups and have to raise his kid. Yep. If he doesn't see Kimmy is not the one or the two to play with, child, I don't know what's wrong with him, child. But I hope they can work this out before it gets to that point. He isn't taking her seriously though. He isn't. She complained about this before. She absolutely did. Maurice is taking advantage. I think that I want to know who their parents are because their parents raised them to take advantage, in my opinion. Kimmy has Kimmy had paused about Monster coming because she knew how Maurice was going to act. He's putting all of the child rearing on her, and she already raised her son as a single parent and does not want to do it again, especially not for somebody else's child. That's crazy. And it feels like that's what he is, forcing her to do. And his plan has no end. It's not like being in school and knowing the end date. He's trying to establish himself. That could be endless. Yes, absolutely. That's so true. I can't believe they never went on a honeymoon. Never went on that honeymoon. Not even joking. It's like Maurice saw Boys in the Hood one too many times. I would love to hear more about his and Maurice Marceau's upbringing. Yes, me too. I would too. He sees the forest, not the trees. He sees the big picture outcome, but doesn't understand the details to make it happen. I think that's because, like his brother, as much as they try to act like they taking responsibility for things, they really don't like to be too close to the hard shit. They really don't. They find that work is easier, so that's what they've decided they want to put all the attention into, and that's what makes them not a failure. Barack is acting a fool. What you doing? Okay. Exactly, Miss B. He's doing exactly what she said he would do in the first season. Yep. I deal with the same thing as Kimmy, but my daughter's mom has passed away and she lives with me. Oh wow. That's a lot of responsibility. But I appreciate you for sharing that. That's what's up though. That you take that role. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it neither. I don't like it. I don't like it. Neither. Why are they together again? I don't watch the show. I just support Bondi. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Child, we didn't see the beginning of their relationship, but Maurice is the less problematic of all three of the men that have originally been on this show. And there have been good moments. You have to go back and watch it, you know what I'm saying, in order to get it. But it's at its moment. It's at its moment. I would like, she said he's great. Like, y'all should watch our interview. We actually did an interview with her for the Ooh Ladies first panel. So y'all should check that out. Thank you so much. My throat is on fire for some reason. He doesn't have a Tisha, so he better get it together before Kimmy gets gone, right? I want to know about their upbringing too, right? They never really talk about that, and we still haven't seen their parents. That sounds miserable and toxic as fuck. I leave him. Fuck that. He also is claiming that he's imparting black man wisdom on his son, but if he's not around enough, all of his talk is for naught, which is exactly why I said what I said about Marceau. They a lot of talk. Therapy is absolutely a must. I realized I liked this episode and I realized Martell wasn't on it. He's toxic and draining. I want to see more of Maurice and Marceau's upbringing too. Martell is draining. Oh, and take Tiffany off while it's early. Messy. Let's wait on it. She signed up to be a stepmom and not mom again to a 12-year-old. By the way, I would have left too because they were so late. They were. They were so late. I wouldn't have stayed. I really want to know what good qualities. Child, the dick. It's probably the dick. I mean, he's probably really sweet. He does take care of business, He does want to be successful. And he is doing what he has to do that. I do feel like he is loving. But I just think that him and his brother have been raised to see women as helpmates and nothing more. He is moving in a me mind frame and not a we. He and his brother are selfish. It's their needs first and everyone else. Yep. We only saw their mother during a function on the first season. Right. I think they showed their mother on a previous season, but didn't go into how they were raised. Right. I do find, yeah, I remembered it in passing, but like we didn't get a lot from her. I do find myself wanting out my marriage because I don't have the capacity to give me all to people who could care less about my feelings. I have a 2-year-old. Ooh, child. That sounds tough. That sounds tough, girl. You have to give me some more detail about that later. They probably still in love with who they thought they were getting. That too. Because how can a person constantly give and be depleted? I don't know. It's tough, but somehow women have like some type of endless well that we find a way to constantly be given, and niggas are just, they can tap out. They can tap out, and it's fine. They tapped out. The brothers definitely have a good side, and it's easy to see how they can charm someone. I think so too. Shantia, your soul and heart will thank you. Go find your peace and tranquility, girl. Listen, I don't like to tell people to end their marriages because that's not what I like to do. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta do what's best for you. You gotta do what you gotta do for you. And sometimes it's not even about divorcing. Sometimes um it's about taking a break so you can figure out what you need, and so that he can see what it's like to be without you. He is in this mindset that wives are there to raise the children and then the man bring money only. Yeah, that's not how any of this works. I think women are expected to have a balance while the men can just focus on the work and step in when they feel like it. Right. As a black man, I'll say this: we often seek balance, but ultimately live most of our lives unbalanced. It's not always purposefully done. It's trying to unlearn all we know. Patience, ladies. I mean, I feel like a lot of us live in unbalance. Like, I think that's unfair to say that we have to have patience with y'all, but y'all don't have to have patience with us. Because I feel like a lot of it is giving y'all patience, and a lot of us are always living in unbalance and then having to give y'all patience while we have the weight of the unbalance. You know what I'm saying? So I think that, it's just hard sometimes, and it's like, just do the shit, man. Just do what's required of you. You know what I'm saying? I want to hug you. You're in my thoughts, mom. I'm praying for your peace and strength, right? You're gonna be all right. Because you're doing the right thing, by helping take care of your stepdaughter and all of that. But you gotta do for yourself. I mean, in a sense, you can't give from what you don't have. So you have to replenish yourself. But we are done. But we are done. We are done. Who you done with? Y'all are making me cry because it's hard. Oh, don't cry. Don't cry. It's gonna be all right. See, women are accessories to make them look better, beautiful, and glittering to showcase, but not bringing real value. Yes. I want to know more about why Maurice and his ex divorced. I believe she cheated on him. Sherelle, darling, thank you. Will take the virtual hug. Okay. The misogyny of it all. Small-minded men on this show is upsetting. It would be cool to have one level-headed, logical man on this show, like the Tommy to the. Well, we thought that was Maurice. It's not. I'm married. Uh, I'm married, Shantia. Never gonna tell another woman to leave her man. I will tell you to love you first and most. That yeah, yeah. That's what we at with it. I'm talking to myself too. Okay. Because if Maurice was having to make the same allowances Kimmy has to make, he wouldn't have married her. Come on now, Crystal. Both brothers believe their wives are supposed to be strong and support their husbands no matter what they do wrong. Yep. Maurice seems to be a bit immature, almost childlike and unrealistic, but maybe that is refreshing to Kimmy sometimes. I also think that's why their relationship worked, because she's been in that role with her son, for most of her life. She's been in that role with her own son. And so I think Maurice just kind of slid into that positioning as well. He was in school and, coming out of the divorce and losing weight and rebuilding himself and all of this. So, and she's been there throughout that process. Y'all, I love my husband, but I can't be all to your child and then y'all cut me out. Yeah, that's no, no, no. You got to put up your boundaries. Yeah, you got to express it to him just like that. You do. And you have to, that's why I say you got to put your boundaries up with people. Because if you don't put your boundaries up, they'll step all over you. They will. Okay. But anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for coming and joining me. It's so funny because last week there was only like 35 people in here, and today there are 85. So I appreciate y'all so much for coming and becoming Patreons and paying for the whole year and just continuing to support my content and thinking that I'm worth it. I really love y'all and I appreciate y'all. And I'm gonna sit up here today and make this schedule for the rest of the week so y'all know what's coming. I love y'all so very, very much. I hope y'all have a good rest of y'all day. And y'all know I'm gonna get back to work working on more videos for y'all because there's always more content to give. All right. So y'all hit me up in the Discord, all right? Or more for you, YouTube or Patreon. It's whatever y'all want to do. At this point, Patreon is so you can have the option to give $1 or $5. And then YouTube is just that set $5.99 price. Y'all can do either because I'm giving y'all both access to the Discord. So no matter what, y'all will still be able to find me on the Discord. But I kind of want to keep people on both places because having members on YouTube also helps how much money I make on YouTube. You know, this money over here is separate from that and also sometimes helps for what I don't make over there sometimes. And, you know, it just gives me a little bit more stability because if anything ever happens, y'all will still be here and on the Discord. And don't forget, I'm definitely going to be coming out with a new episode of the podcast. I'm going to actually try to do 2 this week for y'all so I can get that show done so I can move on to the first Wives Club because somebody asked me to do Soul Food the series, and because Soul Food the series is not even streaming anywhere, I would love to do my podcast on you know, like the first season of that one and maybe continue on to do it. So you know, more content, more work coming for y'all, and you know, y'all get downloads of the podcast as well. So love y'all, appreciate y'all, and make sure y'all are in the Discord because you know, I've been putting little stuff in there that I haven't been putting anywhere else. So yeah, love y'all.